Okay, hello everyone. So for today, I'm going to be going over briefly about just talking about the saxophone, okay? So if you're interested, this is just a few points of what you should know just before you start playing it, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. First thing that I want you to know is that it is part of the woodwind family. And what I mean by woodwind family is that it's part of the flute, clarinet, saxophone, oboe, and bassoon family. So all of these 5 instruments are part of one particular family. You also have the brass family, which is trumpet, French horn, trombone, euphonium, and tuba, okay? You also have the percussion family, okay, which is all your percussion instruments. But yeah, so those are the 3 families that we have in band. And let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Oops, sorry, my bad. Now, this is just a brief history about the saxophone. There's so much history out there, but I just chose like a little interesting part of the saxophone's history. Let's go ahead and take a look.
A guy named Adolphe Sax invented the saxophone in 1846. Born in 1814, Sax was a Belgian musician who grew up surrounded by instruments and musical inventions. He studied clarinet and flute at the Royal Conservatory of Brussels. In Paris, he patented improvements to the designs of existing instruments and created new instrument variations such as the sax horn and sax tuba. On June 28, 1846, Sax filed a patent for the saxophone, which was
Okay, so yeah, it's just a brief history about how the saxophone came about as the sax. So, Adolphe Sax named it after himself. So there you go. There's now another thing you should know is that saxophone is a very fun instrument. It's more of a what's the word I'm looking for? It's mainly used in like jazz music or band ensembles, marching bands. But it's not used in orchestras or symphonies unless you're playing a piece like Rhapsody in Blue or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fun instrument, and I think that you would definitely enjoy playing it. Let's go ahead and move on to our next slide. Oop, again with the boo-boo there. So what do we offer in our program? So we offer the alto saxophone, and I'll give you some demonstrations in the next slides. So the alto saxophone, that's the one that we offer for beginners to start with. And then we also offer, I forgot to mention, the tenor saxophone for beginners. It is a little bit bigger of a bigger body, I guess, of a saxophone. And then we have the baritone saxophone, which is even bigger than that, and it makes a deeper sound. The next slides will be demonstrations of these saxophones, so you get to see and hear how they sound. Okay. The different types of saxophones. First, we have the soprano saxophone. Now, we do not offer this one in our program. It's more of a higher level saxophone. It's a beautiful sounding instrument. Yes, Kenny G plays it. So yeah, so let's go ahead and take a listen, okay? So yeah, very fun piece there, obviously. But yeah, I mean, as you can hear, it's definitely got that jazzy texture to it. It's pretty cool. I liked it a lot. Up next is the alto saxophone. And this is the one that you're going to be playing in our program, okay? It's got a beautiful, sweet sound. And it's, I don't know, it's cool. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this one. So yeah, as you can see, big show off. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's like some smooth jazz there. You know, it's just easy to listen to. But yeah, I mean, don't let this video be the judge of what the saxophone can do. It can do so many great things. Okay, play fast, slow, whatever you wish. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Up next, we have the tenor saxophone. Okay, so this one's a little bit more big. It's slightly bigger than the alto. It's got a different sound to it as well, a different texture of the sound, but still used in jazz and all of that. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this one. Okay, so yeah, so that was the tenor saxophone. As you can hear, it's got a little bit more of a deeper tone than the alto, but yeah, it's a very fun instrument as well. Let's move on to the baritone saxophone. So as you can see, this this saxophone is slightly bigger. Well, it's bigger, not slightly, but it's bigger than the alto and the tenor. Okay, so we're getting bigger. So the bigger the instrument, it tends to be, or it has a deeper and darker sound. Okay, so a lower sound, I guess I should say. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this one. This one's very cool. So yeah, so he starts off in the higher range, you know, and it almost sounds like the tenor saxophone, just very, very little. But then he has a few notes where he can really play lower. And so, yeah, so it's definitely pretty fun to be able to do that with the different ranges. But yeah, so like I said before, we will start you off with the alto saxophone, okay? And then we will, if you, the alto or the tenor, but mainly alto. And then once you become a 7th or 8th grader, and if you wish to play the baritone saxophone, which is this one, you would be awesome in the band, okay? So you'll be awesome either way. But the baritone saxophone tends to be like almost one of the heart instruments of the ensemble because of the depth of the notes and the melodies that it has in the music, okay? So, and that's all I have for the saxophone. I'm going to go ahead and move myself over here kindly so you can see all of the contact information that we have. So we have Mr. Jeff Heffler, who is our head director of our band department at Paredes Middle School. And then you have myself, Mr. Luis Corpus. I am one of the assistant band directors there at Paredes Middle School. You have Miss Nancy English, who is the other assistant she's the other awesome assistant of our band program. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to talk to you about band, more than happy to talk to you about anything you wish or answer any of your questions. So yeah, please let us know, okay? And thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in band class.